What's up, everybody? Hope you all had a great day today. Getting into this episode of Beyond the Gates. This was a great episode to me. They were acting down in this episode. Let me tell you something. Martin, Smitty, Elon, Jacob, they went ham in this episode with their dialogue. Danny, I get on her crazy ass in a minute, but that shit was funny. Um, I am enjoying Jacob and Smitty partnering up to uncover this whole conspiracy. Like, I love their partnership just as much as I love Jacob and Cat partnering up. I love it. I'm really digging it. Like, I am feeling the shit out of this because they're smart as hell. And you know what? A part of me get it. I understand Jacob. He really does not want to believe that his father is, a part of whatever this is. Like, he does not want to believe it for shit because this is a guy that he idolizes. Like, this is his father, taught him all about being a police officer, hunting down justice and stuff. So naturally, he doesn't want to believe it. But the more they dig into this, the more he's starting to see, like, yeah, my pops could be involved in something. He could be covering something up. Like, he's starting to see it more and more. The more him and, Smitty compare notes and they start looking into what happened 2 years ago, more things are starting to come together. And the puzzle pieces so far, things are just not adding up so far. Like, they got all these puzzle pieces and they still don't have a clear picture just yet, but it's getting there. It is getting there. Smitty is smart as shit, let me tell you. Like, the fact that he went into hack Malone's bank account, and he wanted Malone to know that he hacked into that account because he wanted to rattle Malone's cages. And I agree with Smitty. You rattle somebody's cages, you get them shook, they gonna make mistakes. They gonna start becoming chatty patties. They gonna say something that's gonna, they gonna slip up and say the wrong thing. They gonna slip up and do the wrong thing. You're gonna get your evidence. I was feeling it because even Jacob admitted that lately Malone has been very chatty, telling him about the cash deposits and stuff, even though he been coming up with bullshit ass excuses. Because even Smitty was like, inheritance. I say, yeah, I agree, Smitty. That inheritance nonsense, that's a lie. That man ain't got no inheritance. Who he know and his family got that kind of money. He ain't got no damn inheritance. Stop that line. He know he lying. So they knew once he got that 500,000, that's as soon as he got that money, that's when he started talking about retirement. I said, of course. Naturally, that's what my thought was. I'm like, yeah, as soon as you got $500,000, hell yeah, you got one foot out the door. I would too. It's a good payday. Why not? Plus your benefits and stuff for being under force for that long. Hell yeah, you're gonna be living comfortable, very comfortable, and you got a new boat and all that. Man, please, he on easy street. But I'm loving this partnership. I really am. And, Jacob had a flashback memory of what happened 2 years ago when he was taking a detective's exam. Because at first I thought he ran into Malone that night at the station. But that was his father he ran into. And he saw that his father was in street clothes that night. Like, his father seemed very off that night. Like, when Jacob was like, Pop, he was like, Chief, you just ran into me. And his father looked at him, but it was like he looked at him, but he wasn't looking at him in a way. Like, he was there, but mentally, his mind was not there. Like, he was just somewhere else. It was like looking at a stranger. Because I seen the way Elon looked at him in the station for that moment when he bumped into him. It was like, it wasn't him. It was him, but it wasn't. And plus, he was in street clothes. Jacob never knew his father to wear street clothes in the department at the headquarters. Never known him to do that because his father was always dressed sharp in his blues, his uniform and all that type of stuff. Always dressed sharp. But that night he was not. So that kind of threw Jacob off. And naturally, 2 years ago, you wouldn't think nothing of it until now when all this stuff is going on. And I feel like he was giving his father an opportunity to tell him what happened. And I thought Elon was going to tell him too. I thought Elon was finally going to break down and spill the tea. But Elon, he kept up the rules. He was like, listen, the puzzle piece, he said, of course, all this stuff don't add up. He said, nothing, the puzzle pieces don't fit. Of course it don't add up. But he said, because there's nothing to tell. He said, nothing went on, nothing's going on. You need to just let it go. Solve your cases and stop coming up with cases. Stop making, problems where there isn't any. I said, damn, Elon. I had high hopes because that was his opportunity to tell Jacob the truth, and he didn't. I was looking at Elon like, you had such an amazing opportunity to tell your son what the hell going on, and you chose to lie to his face again. And he chose, he told him, just listen, you need to let this thing go. Jacob looked like he was going to let it go, for a moment. He looked like he was going to, relent and let it go. I don't think he will, though. I don't think he will. I think he was just saying, whatever you say, Pops, or whatever. I think he was just saying that to appease his father. But I definitely feel like he's going to continue this investigation with Smitty. I don't see him dropping it because none of this makes sense. And if you're a good cop, stuff usually that don't make sense, you're going to find out why. You're not going to rest until you do. My thing is, too, him and Smitty and him and Elon, they really need to stop having these big private conversations all up in the the public of the department of the station. Y'all need to step into an office or something and have these conversations, because I wouldn't want, to have that talk around other officers. And it's like, no. Comparing notes and all that in front of other cops. Hell no. I wouldn't be doing all that. But anyway, moving on from that. So the kids are pissed because Samantha had to cancel a sleepover that she was having. She looked a little too grown for a sleepover, but okay. I said, okay, a sleepover. Okay, you look a little grown, but all right. So they were pissed. And Tyrell sitting there talking about, he just mad because I had somebody over. You had a grown-ass man up in their house. I would be mad, too. You're a teenager. Why are you hanging out with this grown man who got a 5 o'clock shadow? Like, not even a 5 o'clock shadow. The man got a full beard. And you inviting him into our home? Talking about, I thought you and Dad were going to be home. No. You thought wrong. First of all, if you want to invite somebody over, you should be contacting your parents before you just have them over. That's what you should be doing. You don't just say, come on over. That's a grown-ass man. No. That was a hell to no. He should have got slapped up for that. Because this is how I was raised. The way I was raised, my mother didn't give a fuck if my grandmother was at the door. You don't let nobody in. If she's not there, you don't let nobody in. That's just how we were brought up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a no-no. Especially a stranger. We weren't even allowed to let relatives in the house, let alone a stranger. So that's, nope, absolutely not. That's where he was messed up at. I don't care if you've known that man for weeks. It don't matter. Your dad is a congressman. Like, you are a part of a family that are very high profile. You can't just be inviting randoms into the home. You shouldn't even be talking to random grown people, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a no. And I feel like Martin is telling them as much as he can about what's going on without telling them, like, basically saying, I'm a congressman. Like, I pass, laws. I try to fund things that some people don't want funded. And I try to pass laws some people don't want passed. I try to do things people don't want done. And that comes with threats. He was like, also, he's a black man. That comes with a whole set of problems of his own, which he not lying. Plus, he's gay. That's another set of problems. He's not lying about these things. You know what I'm saying? It is true. But I understand why he's not telling them the full story of what's going on for obvious reasons. You tell Tyrell and Samantha what's really going on. Obviously, they're going to have to tell Smitty. It's going to lead to a bunch of questions. So I see why he gave them that generic answer that he gave. Like, it's just basically threats come with the job, basically. So don't do that dumb stuff. They think they on punishment and stuff with the way he acting. He was like, listen, y'all ass ain't on punishment, but I'm trying to keep your ass safe. Now, I can understand him not telling them the full story, and this fool had a baseball bat and everything. He was lot loaded. He was ready. He was war ready. Had his baseball bat, his little Louisville slugger, had made sure the door was locked. Martin was on ready. And he's still having these dreams and stuff. And then when Smitty come in, that whole scene between him and Smitty broke me. Like, to see Smitty tearing up like that, I said, oh my God, Smitty was just in tears. Like, because he's desperate for Martin to tell him what the hell is going on, because he knows something ain't right. He's been knowing it for months now. Something ain't right. And Martin continues to be evasive, continuously lies to his face. And he's still talking about, oh, I'm just trying to protect you. I'm just trying to this. And I'm glad Smitty told him, you may think you're protecting me, but you're really not. Like, this is not protecting me. Keeping me in the dark is not protection, which is true. It's not. It's adding to the problem. And he's still lying in Smitty's face. Smitty has given this man every opportunity for months to tell him the truth, and he continues to lie to his face. I'm like, Martin, just tell him what the hell is going on so this man could support you and be there for you. You act like if you tell him the truth, he's gonna turn you in. He's your husband. He's gonna protect your ass. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's gonna do. But he can't do that if he don't know what the hell going on. See, that's why I can't wait for this whole thing to come out, because when this comes out, I really want Smitty to separate from him. Like, and I like Martin and Smitty's relationship to an extent. Certain parts of their relationship I like, certain parts I don't. They got chemistry to me. Like, I think they're cute together, but I feel like this is a situation where they need to separate when it's all said and done, because I don't think I could be in a marriage like that with somebody lying to my face for months when I'm specifically asking them a question, when I'm asking them a direct question. They look me in my face and lie. I can't be with that person. Would I file for divorce immediately? No. I would more than likely separate. I would just move out, or that person can move out. You know, but I feel like him and Martin need to separate. Smitty and Martin, they need to go their separate ways for a while when this is all said and done, because I don't know how you can stay in that marriage with these lies. I really don't. But when Martin was like, oh, you know, we just need to go to bed or whatever, we could talk in the morning. I'm like, what is the point of talking in the morning? You ain't gonna tell them nothing. What are we talking about? What do we have to talk about in the morning? You're not gonna say anything. You're not gonna tell them the truth. So it's just another way for him to shut Smitty up and get Smitty to stop asking these questions. That's all it is. So anyway, moving on from that. Randall got his ass caught. Malone done caught that ass. Caught him at the airport. This man was on his way to Bali. And anybody know, if you going to Bali, you know that's a no extradition treaty. They can't extradite you. And this fool had 10 grand on him that he stole from Joey. Trying to talk his way out of talking about, oh, you know, I botched the shooting or whatever. I botched it. I nicked the guy. He ended up getting away. Basically, he knew he fucked up. And he didn't want to face Joey. So he took the money to go away, talking about he was going to try to come up with a way to fix it and give Joey back his money with interest. I said, that's bullshit. You was going to run and keep running. You're lying. And come to find out, he got a kid. So Randy got a kid because he was worried about what was going to happen to his son and the son's mother. And Joey was like, listen, I ain't got no beef with them. Joey said, I'm going to handle you. I'm not going to touch them. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing. He said, they good. They safe. I ain't going to bother them. I mean, I wouldn't totally trust that, but okay. I mean, because what's to stop him? But then again, I think Joey was being honest about it. Like, why would he fuck with them? Because he let Randy know. He was like, you're useless to me. He said, I'm going to put you. He said, where you going? It's going to be mighty cold. Where you going? Yeah, you going to somebody's little ditch somewhere probably, or in the freezer. Either way, you ain't long for this world. So, you know, he kept pleading and stuff. And Joey, he was like, listen, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You fucked up. Ain't no second chances. Here come Vanessa and Doug. Doug really be working my nerve because he really be trying. I mean, I respect that he trying to have Randy back because Randy has had his back a million times. But for him to walk in there trying to act all gangsta and stuff like he not scared of Joey, I'm like, sir, the only reason you acting like that is because Vanessa with you. That's the only reason you acting like that, because Vanessa pretty much got Joey's balls in a vice. Like, Joey was stern with their ass. Joey said, listen, y'all need to mind your damn business and get the hell on. And Vanessa was like, no, we ain't going nowhere. Because something happened to Randy is going to interfere with your business. Well, our business. Like, basically putting out a threat and telling Malone about how internal affairs might like this or whatever. How internal affairs going to feel about this. She was basically putting out threats. Like, you know, I could end y'all right now if y'all don't do as I say. Joey was like, listen, he said, don't do that shit again. Joey was like, don't you ever. Vanessa was like, yeah, that's a nice little warning, but we all know I'm going to do it again. So she is not afraid of Joey. Like, she really is not. And Joey is turned on by this shit. Like, he is turned on by her not being afraid of him. Like, he liked that shit about her. And here they go about to do it again. I said, Lord, they be wearing that poker table out. You thought that shit was a Tempur-Pedic or something, the way they be on it. But Vanessa got balls. I give her that. I will give her that. She is not fearful of this man at all. She shows no fear with Joey. And he really is enticed by it. He was like, what the hell am I going to do with you? Like, he is really intrigued by her. I don't know for how long though. I'm like, Joey, don't get pussy whipped now. Don't let this woman start messing with your business. I'm just saying, get it together. So anyway, moving on from that. Andre and Ashley on their little date. And Danny is up in there, at the bar staring a hole in Andre. Andre had the audacity and nerve to sit there and tell Ashley, oh, don't pay her no mind, just ignore her. I'm like, what? Oh, he was showing his ass today. Andre showed his ass. Like, he was really trying to act like nothing was going on between him and Danny. Mind you, the whole back and forth that him and Danny was having, and you see Ashley looking back and forth at the two of them. I said, so Ashley, you not picking up what they putting down? I'm like, baby, they are having a whole conversation in front of your face without actually having it. Like, without saying details. Like, they're having a whole conversation and you're not privy to it. You don't even know what's going on. But she kept looking back and forth, making a face like she kind of suspect that, that's the woman that Danny was talking about, that Andre like or whatever. But she was like a deer in headlights. One minute it looked like she know, and then the next she's completely clueless. So I'm like, baby, just get up and excuse yourself. Because you ping-ponging back and forth between the two of them looking. I'm like, baby, they're having a whole side conversation that you don't even suspect that they're having. Andre was full of shit. He was playing the Danny face the entire time. Like, talking about, oh, yeah, this woman, she was just hung up on her ex, kept dealing with the past, wouldn't, look to the future or whatever. Basically trying to say she threw him to the side. All type of mess. Which was bullshit. Everything that was coming out of Andre's mouth was straight nonsense. Because she literally decided to go public with him. Be seen in public with him. She made that choice. Mind you, she never lied to him about how she was feeling. She was very upfront with Andre from Jump Street. Like, he knew she had just got out of a 30-year marriage, and she was honest about that because she said she wasn't looking for nothing serious right now or exclusive because she needed to know who she was outside of Bill. She told him that multiple times. So it's not like she lied to him about anything. And I hate to say this, but Nicole was actually right about his ass. Because the way he's acting is the way Nicole pretty much said that he is. You know what I'm saying? He's acting that way. And this is why Nicole didn't want him and Danny together. Because she knew Andre would just throw her to the side like he do all other women. But Danny kept her cool. She kept her cool. She was funny as shit. She was like, you can't handle a real woman. So you hooking up with a woman that makes vanilla look spicy. That shit was funny as fuck. She said she's so boring, she make vanilla look spicy. That shit had me on the floor. I said, Danny, you need to go to your room. You on punishment. You're on punishment. Danny was funny as shit. I agree with Danny. Andre not even worth it at the end of the day. He not. And I felt bad for her when Ashley was like, oh, do you need us to take you home? She was like, no, I'm going to stay here and have a nightcap. I ain't got nothing. She said, I'm just lonely. My lonely house. I said, damn. She turned into a cat lady. I felt so bad for Danny. So bad for her. Because she just really has nothing. Other than her kids, her modeling agency. I mean, she got great things to look forward to. But I don't want her sobbing over Andre. Because at the end of the day, he played in her face at that table. And I feel she need to walk away from him. She really do. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. This one was good. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you all thought. And I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.